The thing about the Chicago trip is what we really want to share with families is that there's different stages that you're going to go through with somebody that has this disease. And in preparing for it, you're not really prepared. And you have to have a sense of humor about it. And you have to be able to laugh, even when it's not funny. And there's going to be times, you know, something Timesia always says, don't make it seem like we all that holy, but the truth of the matter, sometimes the only way to get through some of the situations with a sick person is that you have to draw from the strength from God and strength from other people, you know that you love this person, but this person could be the person from hell. They could be the most difficult there is, and all you're trying to do is help. And you fighting with the system, you fighting with the person you love, and at the same time you're trying to be in control. And that's probably one of the biggest problems, us as a family. We all like to be in control, especially the sick.
Say that, especially the who?
The sick. They want to be in control of their situation, and they're not in control of it. And sometimes working against them is the hardest part because they can't see the bigger picture, getting them from point A to point B. So that's something we did want to share about the Chicago thing, because we don't want to make this seem that it was all just bed of roses. It wasn't. There were some difficult times, and a lot of the difficult time is the system, is the person that's sick, and then your own fears and uncertainties and not being sure of is this going to work?
Right.
You know, because we were taking a chance. You know,
Because you went when she had the
transplant.
And when I went was when we had when I went with her, we were just seeing if this was an option. And that was even more scary because, one, nobody had ever been to Chicago before. Not for the disease part of it. We had never been. We didn't know what to expect. When we went, it was in the summer. It was hot. Where the hospital, where all the tests were being run, and we had to meet with the different groups of doctors because they all handle different things for the one patient. And where we were staying was maybe 2-3 blocks away from each other. But when you don't have a car and you're having to push somebody down the street in a wheelchair, because my main thing was when we get back from Chicago, she's still gonna have to take care of Dee and, do the things that she wants to do every day. So I didn't want her to tire out, but in doing all of that, I became tired. So I think you're dealing with the frustration with the hospital, the doctors, her because she wants to be in control and she can't. And then yourself because you're scared, you're afraid, you don't know what's going on, and then on top of that, you're exhausted because the learning curve is so backwards because you're learning as you go and you have to figure it out fast because you've got appointments you've got to make, and again, you're pulling from the strength of God, from the strength of others. And in those moments where you're frustrated with each other, you just gotta take a breath and remember what it's all about and what the end goal is. And I think for us, it was a lot of uncertainty for us, and it was very experimental. But with me and Mom, when we went, the last doctor we met with, he said, the one who was over the study, he was like, oh yeah, we're gonna accept your case. We're gonna do the transplant. It's no question. And that made it all worth it. And you're gonna have those moments where is this what we should be doing? Is it gonna work? How is it gonna work? And then it's like, what you've been praying for, give us a sign. Help us know which way we should be going. If we shouldn't, shut it down. If we should be going, then give us the green light. And he gives that green light, where he shuts everything completely down. That will happen. But just keep pushing. Don't let the fear, the exhaustion, the frustration of dealing with this hard-headed person who don't want to listen and who's calling everybody else, telling everybody else how mean you're being when you're really just trying to protect them. Don't let that stop you. Don't let anything stop you, because you cannot quit. quitting is not an option. It should never be an option. Just laying down on the ground and waiting for the train to come over you is not what you want to do.
No.
Just keep pushing through all the negativity, because that little bit of positivity is worth it. I think.
And she's right. Since I was on the transplant side, you know, I said the system, you know, in my mind, me having some nursing experience, in my mind, I know things don't always run like clockwork, but I've seen the devil doing his job and doing it well by constantly putting a roadblock in your path. And some days, like she said, you're tired, you're exhausted, nothing is going according to this schedule you got printed out that should be going that way. And so you find yourself becoming even tougher. You have to keep in mind, for me, I kept in mind, this is not about me, it's about my sister's life. And I will die before this opportunity she has to live is taken away from me. So to me, it was not an option. I don't care how many roadblocks came my way. I would say it to the person, you are not in control, so back it up. To the point that sometimes I probably came across as being the evil person, because the bottom line was, you're not going to stop this from happening. And whatever I have to do to get around you, over you, through you, that's my job. Because we're talking about my sister's life.
Right. And they're not going to understand it.
And they don't understand it, because she's not their family.
No.
And so, that's one of the things I want to encourage a person. You got to have, I'm going to use something Joshua said, you have to have a zoomed in focus. And don't let that focus leave for nothing. And that was my focus. My focus was, I got to get her through this. It's not an option. And so, if I had to be rude, ugly, upset, mean, the bottom line was, you are not going to block what I came here to get. She is going to get this transplant, and that's the bottom line. Because God said it, He done put everything in place. And like she said, faith without works is dead. And I have lots of faith. And so I just got to do the work. And so for us, it meant pushing it forward. Now, there was days I was fighting with the hospital and the people in the hospital. And the patient, because she was determined to do it her way. And I was like, you're making this triple hard on me.
It's her way or the highway.
Okay. And so there was times I would bend to do it her way, just so, I know my sister didn't want her independence taken away from her.
Yeah.
And I wanted to respect that. I never wanted to make her less than her. But there was times that she had no idea. Like they said, I'm exhausted. While you are napping, my mind is going 50 to nothing. And I'm not just accountable to you. I have people that's not here and don't see what's going on, depending on me to take care of this. There was days I talked to her husband 3 or 4 times a day when she didn't realize. And I'm trying to explain to him something that's foreign, that he's not understanding because he's not there. And sometimes I know I was frustrating him, and that made me even more frustrated because I couldn't make him understand and how serious it was, but not scare him half to death because he's not here. Does that make sense? Because there was time that there was things that not only scary to me who in the nursing profession, but I knew I couldn't explain it to anybody because they're not here and they wouldn't understand. And certain things you would say, they would immediately would be scared out of their wits, you know. And so that's a burden that you carry. How much do you tell? How much do you explain?
Right.
You know, there was times that I actually was mean to her, but I didn't have a chance. Because I had to get her from point A to point B. And being mean to her was the only way to make her understand, hey, I'm not the enemy, but you're going to do this whether you want to or not.
And then, you know, one time with me, she fell. And nobody knew this.
God.
She fell so hard on concrete. I heard and I felt her bone hit the ground. And I was so far in front of her trying to get a cab or something to help us, I could not get back in time to catch her fall. And first thing out of her mouth, don't you tell anybody. Okay, I'm not gonna tell anybody, but you're gonna sit your butt in this wheelchair and you're gonna let me push you. This is how we're doing this from now on. No arguing. And it's like you said, it's the importance of having people there who are going to fight. You have to know when to fight, when to be peaceable, when to be a good communicator.
Right.
You know, it's so much that you're balancing as the person who's with her at the specific time, that it takes a certain kind of person, I think.
Yeah.
And you have the sheep in our family, then you have kind of the bulldog, and then you have people like Nanny Cat
Or people like Daddy, you gonna do this
who
now.
just fight no matter what.
And for me, I had to take on the role of the bulldog. That may not be in my nature, but it now. My husband always calls it, you know, the sheep that's really a lion. And you just don't push that sheep in the corner because the lion's gonna come out. And when the lion comes out, his job is to make it known, I am the lion, and I will just bite your head off. I'm not gonna take any hostage. I'm just gonna get rid of you right now because I got a job to do. And so the lion came out a lot of times, even with her, you know. And sometimes she'd think I was just the most horrible person. But I don't think a lot of times she recognized, and that's my thing to someone else. They don't recognize.
They don't
It's
see the whole
not
picture.
just
Yeah,
you.
they don't see the whole everything.
I have a whole bunch of things that's going on that you have no idea. Because guess what, you're sick. You are too sick to see the little things that you may think are little, but they're really not little. They are huge. And my biggest fear was, am I doing enough? Because if something goes wrong, everybody gonna look at you and say, you were there. You were there. Yes, I was there, but there was a lot that I was trying to balance. And so with that, my encouragement is, make sure you got a good support team. I would not have done it if I didn't have a good support team. Me and they communicate, and she could make me laugh and say, you know that's just my girl. Nanny, shake it off. Or the baby sister would say, just go ahead and knock her head off and get it over with. Just stop it. You know. Or then she, at one point, said, if you do not let her have that burger, I'm going to reach through this phone and hit you on the head. Do you not understand? She got a thing in her neck, and she wanting to eat a burger. Let her have the burger.
Out of all the things she wants to eat, and she hates burgers.
But guess what? She had it, enjoyed it to the fullest. We laugh about it now. Okay? We laugh about it now.
You gotta
And
have
guess what?
that.
I called my sister back and chewed her out later on because she ate that burger, and then we had burger everywhere. You know, she was sick of being sick, and my sister, usually she doesn't have the sense of humor, but I remember her saying, did she enjoy the burger? Yes, she did. But that's all that matters.
And it's perfect because
Yes.
we can, you know, the teamwork comes out because, like you said, the people who normally don't have the sense of humor end up coming through when you need them.
Yeah.
The people who who normally are the strong rocks will soften up into a nice little pillow when they need to. And that, I think, being sensitive to the situations and knowing when to depend on each other. Don't try to do it alone.
Yeah.
But call your support team because they're there.
Yeah.
And they'll surprise you, they'll shock you. They're not gonna always
I
give you a little punch.
anyone who went through this, it would be hard if you didn't have good family members. Like if you weren't close to them, I think it would be hard, and I think it might not work because, I mean, if Nina Rita wasn't so close to mom, if mom wasn't so close to dad, I mean, if she wasn't as close to dad, then no one really would have found out anything. She would just go around and do what she did before, but because she was close to everyone noticed that something was going on. So I think without that, I don't think you'd be able to like go through it the right way. You would like, when she got accepted, you would be like, okay, that's good. Then the $30,000, then you would say, no, we can't do that. But you would do it if you did have strong family members.
Right.
But if you don't, you'd probably just be like, forget it. She can just be like this. I mean, people suffer, it's okay. She just have to go with her way of life. And that would be the end of it. So my encouragement is that you have good family members, you have faith in God, and you like don't ever give up just because something bad happens. You don't just say, okay, I'm just gonna toss in the bag. You just like keep going. Because if you stop, then it could be your own fault because something better could happen.
There's my baby.
So when we got back for the follow-up, her doctors were very impressed. I mean, I was pretty cold, but you know, they were very impressed of how much she was walking and all of that. And I was pretty proud because I didn't think the doctors would really see anything. Because I mean, she was getting better, but you know, it was a slow process. So I just thought that they wouldn't be, you know, that surprised. But her doctor, I forgot what his name is, because she getting the guy that
The
likes
nose,
you.
the like me,
Yeah.
my boo.
Yeah, he said she's doing really good, and he gave her the Ampura thing that would help with her walking a little bit. He said, besides that, I'm saying she could run a marathon if she wanted to. So I mean, I think she's doing pretty good. So I mean, the doctors were very happy. Dr. Burt was happy. She was doing better than he thought she would. So I think